Okay, so we're starting a review video about all the Final Fantasy games that I did on channel for this year, 2024. Hello, my Ravens, ZabIQ, and welcome to another video of PlayStation 5 reviews. This one is actually based on a theme and topic, actually. It is called the Final Fantasy games, indeed so. So as you know, we did a series for the year of 2024, all based on Final Fantasy. I believe we did like 4 Final Fantasy games. 7 Crisis Core, 7 Remake, 7 Rebirth, and 16. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to do a review about them and talk a little sense about them to how it works. I gotta say, I may do the last time I did before. Spend 5 minutes talking about them, and then give them a number review between 1 and 10. Okay. Okay. Now, I know you're thinking I haven't got a chance to finish the series. Like, I did want to do Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 10, also 15. But I knew that it was going to take a very long time to get into it. So, how about this? If 7 Part 3 comes out, gonna when? I'll do a series about it. Like, we'll start with 7 Part 3 first, and then we'll move on to 13, 15, and 10 too, okay? I hope that's actually enough. Not sure how we can do that within a year or so. But yeah, whenever 7 Part 3 comes out, we're doing a series for the whole year again. Alright. So let's start with the first one of the Final Fantasy series that I took into, and that was Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core. Let's go. So Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core is actually like a reunion of the game, because it got remade, actually, like remodeled though, actually, and it was pretty good how the graphic looks like based on the old turnout and the new turnout too. When I was actually playing this game a lot, it was quite short. There were only 10 chapters into this game, and that's so I did like the way how it worked, like the story-wise. Like, you saw as a character named Zack, and you bumped your way up, and that's so you do meet other characters like Sephiroth and Cloud, and many more characters in this game actually, but it seems like short. When I got into it, I was making these videos pretty short and that sort of thing. And when I did get to the end of it, it did get long, because I think like the 2 chapters are actually pretty long. And I can actually understand that, because Zack and Cloud was trying to escape and try to get to Midgard actually. So yeah. And then when I was taking on the final boss in chapter 10, it was not that hard. It was actually pretty easy, I gotta say. So that was worry about the combat system. It was confusing to me when I was playing the game. Especially when I was trying to focus on the combat and also the story too. So yeah, I did like the way how Sephiroth was trying to explain how he met his friends and how they um, grow apart to each other, but that was actually a pretty good memorable way of what something was I'm going to. So that was actually my favorite part of it of the game. Definitely that part. Alright. So yeah, Seth about pass. Alright. Anyway, I'm gonna give this rating of this game. It's actually a 9 out of 10. Just because it's actually a pretty good game. The story was actually decent, and combat was unusual. Or didn't like the slot machine actually. They're my type. And the characters, I say, top notch. So good job. 9 out of 10 for Final Fantasy 7 by School. Okay, moving on to the next game, the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Now, if you don't know, this is actually a remake of the game back in way back. I'm not sure what year it came out, but we're like so back. For the time being, yeah. Thing about 7 remake is it's quite different. I gotta say. So when you play as Cloud, which is actually the protagonist, you play as him all the way through the game. You do change up characters throughout the way, I gotta say, but once you get into different kind of chapters, you always play as Cloud. After all, and he's actually the main. He's actually the main character in the game, and I did like the way how it worked. Like it just this game was way too long. There's too many chapters. I believe there's like 18 chapters in remake, and then Rebirth has 16. But yeah, there was so many chapters in this game. But I can understand it because it's based on their own character. Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, Aerith, and so on. Yeah, I gotta say, I think this right. I did say the 4 characters, right? Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, Aerith. Yep, definitely does hold 4, especially Red 13, which you actually do meet him at the end of the game, like end game actually. But when you do get into each chapter, you learn what the gang was suffering through. I gotta say, and how they got into a climax when they were taking down the first reactor, and then they went on to the second reactor. It was kind of weird how it worked, but I guess it worked. Worked indeed. Yeah, when they were getting into the at the end, they were actually getting into the Insomniac. No, that big building thing actually to enter the whole verse lab and that sort of thing. Like to rescue Aerith actually. That was the thing um about the story, right? Because it got kind of mixed up. Like the first part was taking down the 2 reactors, and then the second part was actually meeting Aerith. Like how Cloud meets Aerith actually for the first time, and then they fall, and then they go together, and then Aerith meets Tifa. The also they go into like a tournament, and that was really cool actually. Another thing was they figure out who is actually Aerith, like what's the story between her, and it was kind of it was actually not the confusing way. It was actually pretty good. And also, it was different between the old version than this remake. But yeah, all I gotta say is when you get into a strong info about this game, and you do play, like after you do beat the game of the Cloud series, you get into the DLC of the series, and that is the Tifa series. And like I say, that's pretty cool how it works. I was playing as Tifa, and getting to the same routine that what Cloud and Aerith did, like Cloud and Steam at all. But I did like it a lot. So I'm gonna give it a rating of um, 9 out of 10. Yeah, just because everything is actually pretty good. The story, the characters are decent. The graphics are good, and the combat was not too extreme. It was pretty much simple indeed. So yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next Final Fantasy video, and that is 7 Rebirth. So Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is actually a series. It takes on a way of climatic. As you know, this one is based on 16 chapters of the game, and the third day. So it's based on like it's part 2 of the 7 remake series actually. And what's the thing about this story is actually Cloud has escaped Midgard actually, but they enter the open world of all the homes. Barris, Eris, Red 13, Tifa's, Cloud, Yuffie, all of them. Now we also do meet Yuffie in the middle of the game, and then she does join in actually. So that was pretty cool how it works and how it climaxes into it. The thing about this game, it was more based on relationship. Like if you see, the gang has a way to grow together, and each of one of them cover their own story. And when you get into the game, like further into it, you learn that each character has their own backstory, and that sort of thing, how they were born in their hometown, and what made them actually leave their hometown and then join to go to Midgard after all. So yeah, and that was kind of interesting in detail how each one was formatic, I gotta say. Now we did also meet another new character, Sid. And it was kind of cool how it works and how it go into with that too. We also meet another new character that you actually don't play is actually Ventus, and he's actually my favorite character in the Rebirth game. You know, you do meet him at the end of the series. I gotta say, like, pretty good. But Ventus is a really cool character. Yeah, but as the story goes, so does the team grows too. Like it grows way too big. Like we met like so many. You meet so many characters in this game. Sephiroth. You gotta play as Sephiroth for the first 2 chapters. I mean, not first chapters, for the first chapter, my sake. You gotta play as Sephiroth for the first chapter, and then you realize is what is his backstory behind it, what made him so evil actually. That was so climactic to him, and especially where Cloud was trying to get into his head mind after all. But like their story is actually based on trying to defeat Setharoth and hope for the best he doesn't launch this black materia that we're journey on to find this black materia actually. See, and it's like a feel like a twist how you meet each character and that sort of thing. I gotta say, so yeah, and you do meet a lot of new characters and a lot of old characters too. I think one character I think almost gotta talk about is Kate and Seth. So these two characters, the cat and then his familiar, the Moogle. Oh, it was kind of interesting how it works, and the fact he was actually a secret agent. So that was climatic to me and surprise. Right. So yeah, everything is actually pretty good. So is the combat system pretty amazing? I gotta say, but it was way too long actually. Like, especially when you do go to the open world area, it's definitely long indeed. So yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 10 out of 10 for this game. That's my number rating. There's nothing wrong with it. The only thing I can say is it was a super long game indeed. So, but there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so definitely 10 out of 10 for 7 Rebirth. Alright, so the last one that we did is actually 16. 16 is a series that I was trying to get into a lock with this. Like when I was playing, when I was thinking of a name for it, I was trying to figure out what kind of title I want to do with it, and what kind of characters you actually get into, especially the story too. And I came up with the other lines or the other lines, this sort of thing, and here's how it works. So you play as Clyde, the main character of the game, and you do meet like many other characters too, but you always play as Clyde. Clive. You also do meet his companion Torvald, the wolf companion. Yeah, the dog wolf companion, and then you do meet other characters too, who like Sidolopoulos. That's shorter version of Sid. You meet Jill, Clive, girlfriend, actually, and Joshua, Clive, brother, younger brother, actually. Now it's based on those four characters, actually, but as the story goes through, you do meet other characters in game. But I do like the way how it worked based on the chapters. It was like each battle was epic, and that sort of thing. I gotta say, but the problem was when I got further into the game, like the end game of it, it got much harder and longer to beat. Each chapter where I get into the boss battles was very epic, but they were long. Good. If you remember the boss where you fight the Titan, and that was super long. good. That I did have. I think did I split the 2 parts or 3 parts? Hold on. Yeah. No, I didn't. No, did not. Okay, I split it to 1 part actually. Just one battle, a whole battle of fighting the Titan, Echelon. Yeah, but yeah, and the thing about this story is actually taking down all the mother crystals. Oh, as you know, that each kingdom has a mother crystal. Oh, and also each kingdom has an Eidolon you have to fight, like an Ekin. And each one was, some of them was easy, some of them were hard, and even the final one was impossible to beat. I think it took me like 2 tries or maybe 1 try to beat that final boss. Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, I gotta say, even though if you don't know, the final video of this game is actually very long, an hour and a half in diesel. And the thing about Ultima Final Battle, is when you do fight him, he throws everything against you, every attack, every spell, and also has all the Eidolons combined within him. So it's like too much for this one boss, even though it's actually a final boss in DSO. Oh, so yeah, and I did try to finish as fast as I can so I can actually get it done. No. And I almost forgot, I didn't do the 2 DLCs for this game at all, but just because it was actually getting kind of boring in the end game. I did know, like I did watch the videos between what the 2 DLCs actually has. Like one's based on a tower battles, and the second DLC is actually you enter a new town, get in touch with the 2 Islands on the Leviathan and Ultima after you beat the game, and like you follow into the story of the Leviathan Island actually in DE2. So yeah, but that's the fact that I didn't get into the 2 DLCs in this game at all. But I may not do them at all anymore. Well, when I want to do a full series of Final Fantasy games again. But yeah, that's actually pretty much it. That's all I have to say about 16 in DSO. So I'm gonna give a rating of this game actually a 8 out of 10 or maybe 9 out of 10. Nah, let's give it like an 8 out of 10. Nah, just because I did love the combat, I did love the story, I did love the characters and graphics. The problem was the end game. It was way too long, and the battles was too difficult to beat. So yeah. So there you have it. That's all the games for Final Fantasy after all. So I'm going to be rating them again. 7 Crisis Core is 9 out of 10. 7 Rebirth is 7 Remake is 9 out of 10. 7 Rebirth is 10 out of 10. And 16 is 8 out of 10. Yeah. So that's all the ratings of those 4 games. And that's actually pretty much it, I gotta say. Now, if you do want to see more of these series based on Final Fantasy, I am welcome to do them, but I want to wait until 7 Part 3 comes out. No clue what it's actually called, but it could be called re reduce reduction, whatever it going to be into for part 3 of 7 all, but that's how it works. So yeah, I gotta say that's actually pretty much it. I'm going to leave the video here. That's the end of my suggestions for the views. I gotta say, and I know I didn't do Diablo 4 actually, but I'm gonna do that in a separate video. Probably next year. So don't worry about that anymore. Oh, but yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to leave it here. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you're joining to Ravens. Do follow me on all of my social media accounts, and I'll see you next time. Bye.